What reminded me of it was Gail's story about the revenuers. My great-uncle John was a lawman. On his leg he strapped a .44 Colt. His rifle, it was a carbine. Its action was lever, not bolt. Fuerpo was a young lad of 15 years at the time. He got involved in bootlegging, and bootlegging was a crime. Now the revenuers came to the county to collect what they thought was due. They said, "John, we're looking for some help here, and the help we're looking for is you." Now, John knew he'd have to be careful because those boys were selling whiskey under the table. He knew he'd have to be careful because at killing, those boys were able. John led the lawmen up the river, and they crossed at the old trestle bridge. He led them up the canyon and under the Rincon Ridge. They were nearing an old log cabin, tucked away behind cedars and rocks. They hoped to sneak up on those moonshiners, sneak up and put them in shock. But somehow the moonshiners got wind of the lawmen, and all but one snuck plumb out of sight. The one left behind was young Fuerpo. He'd had too much moonshine last night. Now, Fuerpo hid behind a rock. His hands held a hand-me-down gun. He was sure someone had to die there, and he didn't want to be the one. He could have stayed real still and no one would have had to gotten hurt. But he jumped out and he yanked the trigger, and blood seeped from my Uncle John's shirt. Now, you would have thought that John's life would be over, but the Lord wasn't ready for John that day. The bullet entered his chest and it circled his heart in a peculiar way. John Graves lived to tell that story, that one and a good many more. Today, the 6th gun I carry is my Uncle John's old .44. Now, if there is a moral to be learned from this old moonshine tale, it is, be careful of the friends that you choose, and you're more apt to stay out of jail.